My name is Miles Harrington. I'm 33 years old, and back in early 2021, I worked as a financial analyst for a mid-sized investment firm in Denver. The pay was decent, around $82,000 a year, enough to cover my half of the rent on our two-bedroom apartment in Capitol Hill, and still put away some savings every month. I'm not the kind of guy who needs much drama in his life. I wake up, I go to work, I come home. Simple, clean, predictable. I'd been with Avery Locke for 4 years when she dropped the bomb. She was 31 at the time, a freelance graphic designer with a decent portfolio and inconsistent income. 4 years of splitting grocery bills, alternating who chose the Netflix show, learning her coffee order by heart. Oat milk latte, extra shot, no foam. We weren't perfect, but we were steady. Or so I thought. It was a Tuesday night in March 2021. We were sitting on the couch after dinner, some pasta dish I'd thrown together. Avery had been quieter than usual for a few days, and I figured she was stressed about her freelance deadlines. Then she turned to me with that look, you know the one, where someone's about to say something they've rehearsed in their head 20 times. "Miles, I need to talk to you about us," she said. I muted the TV. "Okay, what's up?" She took a breath. "I love you, I really do. But I'm not ready to get married or take the next step yet. I've been thinking, what if we open things up? Like, we stay together, but we're allowed to see other people too. No pressure, no expectations. Just exploring. If you enjoy stories of cold-blooded revenge and gripping plot twists, like this video, and subscribe to the channel now. There are brand new, unreleased stories here every day, each one more intense than the last. I sat there for a moment, letting the words settle. Opening the relationship. I'd heard about this kind of thing, read articles online, knew couples who'd tried it, some made it work, most didn't. But here's the thing. I didn't panic. I didn't argue. I just looked at her and asked the obvious question. "Is there someone else you're already interested in?" Her eyes widened a little. "What?" "No. I mean, not really. I just think we should experience more before we lock ourselves down forever." "Not really." That's what she said. Not really. Which meant yes, but she wasn't ready to admit it yet. "All right," I said. "If that's what you want, we can try it." She blinked. I don't think she expected me to agree so easily. Maybe she thought I'd fight for her, beg her to reconsider, make some grand romantic gesture. But I'm a numbers guy. I analyze risk, and right then the risk of holding on to someone who didn't want to be held on to seemed a lot higher than the risk of letting go. "Really?" she asked. "You're okay with this? If you need this to figure out what you want, then yeah, we'll try it." She smiled, relieved, and hugged me. I hugged her back, but something had already shifted inside me. It was like watching a stock you'd invested in start to decline. You don't sell immediately, but you start paying closer attention. The next day, I set up profiles on 2 dating apps. Nothing misleading, nothing dishonest. I used recent photos, listed my actual job, my actual interests, hiking, cooking, reading nonfiction. I made it clear in my bio that I was in an open relationship and looking for genuine connections, not just hookups. I wanted to see what was out there, sure, but I also wanted to do this the right way. Within a week I had matches, good ones. A lawyer named Jordan who loved true crime podcasts. A nurse named Sam, 30 years old, sharp, independent, who ran marathons and worked at Denver Health Medical Center. A teacher named Casey who made me laugh with her dry humor. We'd meet for coffee, go for walks around Sloan's Lake, grab dinner at casual spots in Low High. These were real conversations, real people. And the more I talked to them, the more I realized something. I wasn't missing anything by being with Avery. I was missing things by staying with someone who wasn't sure about me. Meanwhile, Avery seemed confused. She'd check my phone when I left it on the counter, casually, like she was just glancing at the time. She'd ask where I was going when I got dressed to go out. One night in April, she saw me texting Jordan and asked, "Who's that?" "Someone I'm seeing," I said. "Remember, open relationship." Her jaw tightened. "Right. Yeah, of course." But she didn't like it. I could tell. She thought opening the relationship meant she'd get freedom while I sat at home waiting for her. She didn't expect me to actually use the freedom too. I started noticing things. She was on her phone more, smiling at texts she wouldn't explain. She had a new friend from her gym, some guy named Trevor who she'd mention in passing. Trevor said this. Trevor thinks that. I didn't ask questions. I didn't need to. The picture was clear. In May, I adopted a dog. A 3-year-old mixed breed named Booker from the Denver Animal Shelter. $75 adoption fee, plus another $150 for initial vet checks and shots. Booker became my anchor. We'd go running in the mornings before work, long walks in the evenings. He didn't care about open relationships or unclear intentions. He just wanted consistency, attention, and the occasional treat. I understood that. Avery didn't like Booker much. She complained about the hair, the early wake-ups, the way he took up space on the couch. But I didn't care. Booker was mine. My decision, my responsibility. By June, I'd been on dates with 7 different people. Some fizzled out naturally. Some turned into friendships. One, with Sam the nurse, turned into something more. We clicked. She was direct, confident, knew what she wanted. We talked about our situations openly. She'd recently ended a long-term relationship too. There was no pretense, no game playing, just honesty. And that's when I realized I didn't need to test anything anymore. I already knew what I wanted. I wanted someone who was sure about me. Avery noticed the shift before I said anything. It was subtle at first. Me coming home later, me being less available for our usual routines, me not asking about her day as much. I wasn't being cold. I just wasn't investing the same energy anymore. Why would I? She'd made it clear she wanted options. So I gave myself options too. One Saturday in late June, she confronted me while I was getting ready for a hike with Sam. I was packing water bottles and trail mix into my backpack when Avery walked into the bedroom. "You're going out again?" she asked. "Yeah, Mount Falcon Trail, should be back by early afternoon." "With that nurse?" "Sam." "Yeah." She crossed her arms. "You've been seeing her a lot." I looked at her. "Is that a problem?" "I don't know." "Is it serious?" "We enjoy each other's company. That's what this whole open thing was about, right? Exploring?" She didn't have an answer for that. She just stood there looking like she wanted to say something but couldn't find the words. Finally, she said, "I just didn't think you'd get so involved. What did you think would happen?" She shrugged. "I don't know. I guess I thought we'd both just casually date around, but still be each other's main priority." "Avery, you can't have it both ways. You either want commitment or you don't. You wanted freedom. I'm giving you freedom. And I'm taking some for myself, too." She looked hurt. Actually hurt. Like I'd done something wrong by following the exact rules she'd set up. But I didn't apologize. I grabbed my backpack, called Booker, and left. The hike with Sam was great. We talked about everything. Her shifts at Denver Health Medical Center, my frustrations with portfolio management, our favorite books, our worst dating stories. She didn't play games. When she liked something, she said it. When she didn't, she said that too. It was refreshing, honest, clean. When I got home that evening, Avery was waiting on the couch. She'd been crying. Her eyes were red, her face blotchy. "We need to talk," she said. I sat down. Booker settled at my feet. "I made a mistake," she said. "I don't want this anymore, the open relationship thing. I want us to go back to how we were." "What changed?" I asked, though I already knew the answer. I miss you. I miss us. I thought this would make me feel more free, but it's just making me anxious. I don't like you seeing other people. It doesn't feel right." I waited. Let the silence stretch. She fidgeted with her hands. "And what about Trevor?" I asked calmly. Her face went pale. "What do you mean?" "Your friend from the gym, the one you've been texting constantly for the past 3 months." She looked down. "He's just a friend." "Is he?" She bit her lip, looked away. Then quietly, "I thought maybe there was something there, but I was wrong." So this open relationship idea, it wasn't really about us both exploring. It was about you wanting permission to see where things went with him. She didn't deny it, just sat there, tears streaming down her face. And now? I asked. Now I realize he wasn't interested in anything serious. He just wanted something casual, and I threw away what we had for nothing. I sat back, took a deep breath, let the moment breathe. So you wanted to test the waters with someone else while keeping me as a backup plan, and now that it didn't work out with him, you want to come back to me like nothing happened. That's not fair, isn't it? She wiped her eyes. Miles, please. I love you. I made a mistake. Can't we just start over? Here's the thing about mistakes. In my line of work, you learn to recognize patterns. When a company shows declining fundamentals, you don't hold on to the stock hoping it'll recover because of nostalgia. You cut your losses and move on. That's what I was doing with Avery, cutting my losses. I don't think we can, I said quietly. Why not? We can close the relationship again. We can go back to normal. Because normal wasn't working, Avery. You said it yourself. You weren't ready for the next step. You weren't sure about us, and honestly, I'm not sure anymore either. But we've been together 4 years. Exactly 4 years. And you still don't know if you want to marry me. You still needed to see what else was out there. That tells me everything I need to know. She was full-on sobbing now. So you're just giving up? After everything? I'm not giving up. I'm choosing myself. There's a difference. I stood up. Booker followed me to the bedroom. I started pulling clothes from the closet, packing them into a duffel bag I kept in the back. What are you doing? Avery asked from the doorway. I'm going to stay with my buddy Jake for a few days. Give us both some space to think. Miles, don't do this, please. But I kept packing. Clothes, toiletries, Booker's food and bowls, his leash, his favorite chew toy. I wasn't angry. I wasn't yelling. I was just done. Jake lived in a 1-bedroom apartment in Stapleton, and he let me crash on his couch without asking too many questions. He was a software engineer, worked from home most days, and didn't mind Booker tearing around the living room. We'd been friends since college, and he knew me well enough to know when I needed space. She really thought you'd just wait around? Jake asked one night over beers and pizza from Sexy Pizza. I think she thought I wouldn't actually meet anyone. Or if I did, it wouldn't be serious. But it is serious with Sam. I nodded. Yeah, it is. So what are you going to do? I'm going to move out, find my own place, officially end things with Avery. And Sam? We'll see where it goes. No rush, no pressure, just honest. Jake raised his beer. To honesty. I clinked my bottle against his. To honesty. Over the next 2 weeks, I found a studio apartment in Wash Park. $1,200 a month, utilities included, pet-friendly. It wasn't huge, but it was mine. I signed the lease, paid the deposit, first month plus $1,200 for security, and started moving my stuff out of the Capitol Hill apartment. Avery tried to talk to me every time I came by to pack. She'd ask if we could have dinner, if we could talk things through, if there was any way to fix this. I stayed polite but firm. I think we both need to move on, I'd say. And I meant it. By mid-July, I was fully moved into the studio. Booker loved the nearby park, and I loved the quiet. No more tension, no more questioning. Just me, my dog, and the clarity that comes from finally making a decision you should have made months ago. Sam came over to help me unpack one Sunday. We assembled my new IKEA bookshelf, hung up a few prints I'd bought at a local art fair, ordered Thai food from Alloy Modern Thai. It felt easy, natural, like this was how things were supposed to be. You seem lighter, Sam said as we sat on the floor eating pad Thai straight from the containers. I feel lighter, I admitted. Good. You deserve that. I looked at her. Thanks for being patient with me through all this. Of course, I get it. Endings are messy, but you handled it well. Did I? Yeah, you didn't blow up, you didn't trash her, you just chose yourself. That takes guts. I smiled. She was right. I had chosen myself, and it felt damn good. August rolled around, and I settled into my new routine. Wake up at 6, take Booker for a run around Washington Park, shower, make coffee, head to work. My job performance actually improved once I wasn't dealing with relationship drama every evening. My supervisor noticed. I closed a deal on a commercial real estate portfolio that brought the firm a solid commission, and I got a bonus, $3,500 after taxes. I put half in savings, used the other half to buy a decent couch for the studio. No more sitting on the floor. Sam and I kept seeing each other, but we took it slow. She had her own place in Highlands, her own life, her own schedule. We'd meet up twice a week, sometimes 3 times. Dinner, movies, long walks with Booker. She got along great with him, which honestly mattered more to me than I expected. When someone treats your dog well, it says something about their character. Meanwhile, Avery kept texting. Not constantly, but enough to be noticeable. Little things at first. Hope you're doing well. Miss you. Can we talk sometime? I kept my responses short and neutral. I'm good, thanks. Hope you're well too. I think we've said what needs to be said. Then, in late August, the messages changed tone. She started asking about Sam. How serious were we? Was I in love with her? Did I see a future there? I didn't answer those questions. They weren't her business anymore. One Friday evening, I was at Sam's place when my phone buzzed. It was Avery, but this time she'd sent a long paragraph. I almost didn't read it, but curiosity got the better of me. Miles, I know I messed up. I know I hurt you. But I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I realize now that I was scared. Scared of commitment, scared of losing my independence, scared of making the wrong choice. But pushing you away was the wrong choice. You were the right person all along. Trevor was a mistake, a stupid, selfish mistake. I thought I needed to explore, but all I did was lose the best thing in my life. I'm ready now, ready to commit, ready to take the next step, ready to be the partner you deserved from the beginning. Please, can we meet and talk about this? I still love you. I never stopped. I read it twice, then I showed it to Sam. Wow, she said. That's a lot. Yeah. What are you going to say? I thought about it for a moment. The truth. I typed out my response carefully, editing it once before sending. Avery, I appreciate you being honest about how you feel. But here's the thing. You're not ready because you realized you want to be with me. You're ready because you realized I'm not waiting around anymore. There's a difference. You had 4 years to be sure about us. 4 years to commit. You didn't. And now that I've moved on, suddenly you're ready. That's not how this works. I hope you find what you're looking for, but it's not going to be with me. Take care. I hit send. Sam looked at me. How do you feel? She asked. Relieved, I said honestly. She smiled. Good. About a week later, I got a message from Jake. Dude, you're not going to believe this. Avery just showed up at my apartment asking about you. I called him immediately. What did she want? She wanted to know if you were serious about Sam, if you were happy, if there was any chance you'd change your mind. I told her you seemed happier than you'd been in months, and that she should respect your decision and move on. How did she take it? Not well. She started crying, said she didn't understand how you could just throw away 4 years like it meant nothing. I told her you didn't throw anything away. She did the moment she asked for an open relationship to pursue someone else. Thanks for having my back. Always, man. But listen, she seemed pretty desperate. Just be careful. I don't think she's going to let this go easily. He was right. Over the next few weeks, Avery tried different tactics. She'd send me articles about couples who worked through rough patches. She'd post vague emotional quotes on her Instagram stories. Things like, sometimes you don't know what you have until it's gone, and the right person at the wrong time is still the wrong person. I didn't engage. I didn't like her posts. I didn't comment. I just let her work through whatever she needed to work through. In September, I ran into her at a coffee shop near my old apartment. I was picking up an Americano before heading to a client meeting when I saw her sitting at a corner table with her laptop. She saw me too. Our eyes met. For a second, I thought about just leaving, but that felt cowardly. So I walked over. Hey, I said. Hey. She looked tired. Older somehow. How are you? I'm good. You? Managing. She paused. I heard you're still with Sam. Yeah, we're doing well. She nodded slowly like she was absorbing information she didn't want to hear. Are you happy? I am. Good. That's good. There was an awkward silence, then she said, I'm sorry, Miles. For everything. I was selfish. I didn't appreciate what I had. I know, I said, but we both learned something from it. Hopefully. What did you learn? That I don't need to settle for someone who's unsure about me. That I deserve someone who knows what they want. That walking away can be the strongest thing you do. Her eyes got wet. And what do you think I learned? I can't answer that for you. But I hope you learned that you can't have it both ways. You can't keep someone on hold while you explore other options. That's not fair to anyone. She wiped her eyes. You're right. I know you're right. Take care of yourself, Avery. You too. I left the coffee shop feeling something I hadn't felt in months. Closure. Real, genuine closure. Not anger, not resentment, just acceptance that some things end. And that's okay. By October 2021, Sam and I had been together for 5 months. We hadn't put any labels on it, hadn't made any grand declarations, but it was clear we were building something real. She met my parents over FaceTime. They lived in Phoenix and couldn't visit often due to lingering travel concerns that year. And they loved her. My mom pulled me aside during a solo call later and said, She's different from Avery. She's grounded. Hold on to this one. I plan to. One Saturday morning, Sam and I were having breakfast at Snooze on Larimer Street. She ordered the pineapple upside-down pancakes. I got the breakfast pot pie. When my phone buzzed, it was a message from an unknown number. Hey, Miles, this is Trevor. I know this is weird, but I wanted to reach out. Avery told me what happened between you two, and I feel like I owe you an apology. I didn't know she was trying to have her cake and eat it too. I thought you guys had actually agreed to see other people. No strings. When I realized she was trying to keep you as a backup while testing things with me, I ended it. For what it's worth, you handled everything a lot better than most guys would have. Respect. I showed the message to Sam. She raised an eyebrow. Are you going to respond? She asked. Probably not. What's the point? Closure, maybe. I thought about it. Then I typed a short response. Appreciate the message. No hard feelings on my end. We all make mistakes. Take care. I sent it and put my phone away. Sam reached across the table and squeezed my hand. You're a good guy, you know that? I try. No, really, a lot of people would have been bitter, angry, but you just moved on like an adult. What else was I supposed to do? Blow up her car, key her car, post angry rants online? She laughed. Some people would. Yeah, well, I'm not some people. Revenge isn't about destroying someone else. It's about building a better life without them. That's what I did, she smiled. And look how well it turned out. I looked at her, really looked at her. The way the morning light hit her face, the way she smiled with her whole face, the way she made me feel like I could breathe easy for the first time in years. Yeah, I said. Look how well it turned out. November came with the first real snow of the season. Denver got about 6 inches overnight, and Booker lost his mind playing in it at the park. Sam and I took him to Cheeseman Park early Sunday morning before the crowds arrived, and we watched him leap through snowdrifts like a maniac. It was one of those perfect, simple moments that remind you why you made the choices you made. I have something to tell you, Sam said as we walked back to my studio, our boots crunching in the fresh snow. My heart did a little flip. Okay. In Denver, Health offered me a position in their cardiac ICU. It's a promotion. Better pay, better hours, more responsibility. Sam, that's amazing. Congratulations. She smiled, but there was something hesitant in her expression. There's one thing, though. The schedule is going to be intense for the first 6 months. 3 12-hour shifts a week, sometimes 4. I won't have as much free time as I do now. That's okay. We'll figure it out. You're sure? I know we've been seeing each other pretty regularly, and I don't want you to feel like I'm pulling away or... I stopped walking and turned to face her. Sam, I'm not Avery. I'm not going to panic because your job gets busy. I'm not going to need constant reassurance or think you're losing interest because you have other priorities. We're adults. We'll make it work." She exhaled, visibly relieved. "Thank you. I wanted to be upfront about it. I appreciate that. Honestly." We kept walking. Booker trotted ahead of us, his tail wagging so hard his whole back end wiggled. "You know what I realized?" Sam said after a moment. "What?" "You never talk about Avery anymore. Like, at all. When we first started dating, you'd mention her sometimes. Just in passing, explaining why you were in an open relationship or whatever. But you haven't brought her up in weeks. I guess I don't think about her much anymore. That's healthy. That's growth." "Yeah, it is." And it was true. Somewhere between moving into my own place and building a life that actually felt like mine, Avery had become background noise. Not someone I hated, not someone I missed, just someone who used to be part of my story and wasn't anymore. In mid-November, I got an email from our old landlord. The lease on the Capitol Hill apartment was up at the end of December, and he wanted to know our plans. I forwarded the email to Avery with a simple message. "You can handle the move-out walkthrough. I already got my security deposit portion back when I left. Good luck with everything." She responded within an hour. "Okay, thanks for letting me know. Hope you're doing well." That was it. No dramatics, no attempts to reopen old wounds, just a simple acknowledgement that we'd both moved on. Christmas came and went. I spent it with Sam and her family in Colorado Springs. Her parents, her younger brother, her aunt and uncle. They welcomed me like I'd been part of the family for years, not months. Her dad and I talked football and grilled steaks on Christmas Eve despite the cold. Her mom insisted I take home leftovers, enough to feed me for 3 days. Booker got spoiled with new toys and treats from everyone. On the drive back to Denver, Sam said, "My mom really likes you. I really like her too. Your whole family, actually. She told me you're a keeper." "Oh yeah?" "Yeah, she said you have kind eyes and good manners, which apparently are the two most important things in a man." I laughed. "Well, tell her I appreciate the endorsement." "I will." She paused. "Miles, I know we haven't really talked about the future or put labels on this or anything, but I want you to know. I'm serious about you. About us. I'm serious about us too." "Good. Because I'm falling in love with you, and I wanted to say it out loud before I lost my nerve." I pulled the car over into a King Soopers parking lot and turned to face her. Snow was falling lightly outside, coating the windshield in white. "I'm falling in love with you too," I said. She smiled, that full-face smile I'd come to know so well, and kissed me. It was the kind of kiss that felt like a promise. The kind that made everything before it feel like necessary preparation for this exact moment. When we pulled apart, she laughed. "We just had a moment in a grocery store parking lot. Best moment I've had in a grocery store parking lot. That's a low bar." Fair point. We drove back to my studio, and she stayed the night. Booker curled up at the foot of the bed, and we talked until we both fell asleep mid-conversation, tangled up in each other and the future we were building together. January 2022 came with new opportunities. My firm promoted me to senior analyst with a salary bump to $95,000 a year. Sam settled into her new role at Denver Health and thrived despite the brutal hours. We found our rhythm, her shifts, my work schedule, our time together, our time apart. It worked because we communicated, because we were honest, because we'd both learned from our past mistakes. One evening in late January, I was walking Booker around Wash Park when I saw a couple arguing on a bench. The woman was crying, the man was defensive, and I caught fragments of their conversation as I passed. Something about trust, about needing space, about not being ready. It reminded me so much of where I'd been a year ago that it almost felt surreal. But I wasn't there anymore. I was here. Different life, different relationship, different version of myself. Better version. I got a text from Jake that night. "Dude, random question. Do you ever regret how things ended with Avery?" I thought about it for a minute before responding. "No, not even a little. Why?" "Just wondering." She posted something on Facebook about learning hard lessons and growth. Got me thinking. Good for her. I hope she learned something. You're not even a little bitter. What would be the point? I'm happy. I'm with someone who's sure about me. I have my own place, a dog I love, a job I'm good at. Bitterness would just weigh me down. Man, you've really moved on. Yeah, I have. And I had. Completely. The revenge I'd gotten wasn't loud or dramatic. I didn't expose Avery on social media, didn't trash her to mutual friends, didn't make her life hell. I just left. I chose myself. I built something better. And in doing that, I proved that the best way to move past someone who didn't value you is to become someone who values yourself. By February 2022, Sam and I had been together for nearly a year. We started talking about moving in together, not rushing it, just exploring the idea. Maybe a 2-bedroom in University Hills, something with a yard for Booker, close to both our jobs. We looked at a few places online, made a list of non-negotiables, started planning. One Saturday morning, we were having coffee at my studio when she said, "You know what I love about us?" "What?" "We never had to play games. From the beginning, it's just been honest. Real, no tests, no manipulation, no wondering where we stand. That's because we're both too old for that nonsense." She laughed. Truth. Also because we both know what we want. And we're not afraid to walk away from what we don't want. Like you did with Avery. Like I did with Avery, I agreed. She reached across the table and took my hand. "I'm glad you did. Otherwise we wouldn't be here." Me too. Looking back now, years later, I realized that Avery asking for an open relationship was the best thing that could have happened to me. Not because I got to date other people, though meeting Sam was obviously a game changer, but because it forced me to confront a truth I'd been avoiding for years. Avery wasn't sure about me, and once I accepted that, the rest was easy. I didn't need to convince her. I didn't need to fight for her. I just needed to let go. The revenge wasn't in making her suffer. It was in refusing to suffer myself. It was in walking away with my dignity intact. It was in building a life so good that looking back felt pointless. Sometimes the coldest revenge is just living well, moving on, choosing yourself, letting the other person sit with the consequences of their choices while you build something better somewhere else. That's what I did, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. If you enjoyed this story, like this video and leave a comment letting me know what you thought. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell to get alerts for new stories like this one. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.